Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Rec Tech on YouTube, where we cover the latest and greatest recruitment technology, software, and news. Sourcing and recruiting platform Findem just announced a partnership with Recruit Military, a leading military to civilian recruiting company, to enhance the way organizations source, engage, and hire veteran talent. Today, we'll learn more about that from Heather Haag. She leads military and veteran talent initiatives at Findem, a current U.S. Army officer in the Army Reserve. Heather brings firsthand experience and deep insight into the veteran talent landscape. Heather, welcome to the show. It's nice to have you.
Thank you, Chris. It's great to meet you.
Hi. How long you been at Findem? What's your story there?
I have actually been at Findham a year today. So it's been a very exciting year. How I got here has been kind of interesting. I've had a great career, as you mentioned in the intro. I'm also a captain in the Army Reserve, and I really kind of started my career with the Army. And I did that more so in a full-time capacity for about the first half of my career to date, and then I married into active duty Air Force. So my spouse is an active duty service member, and so we got together. It was time to move, and that is when I did my transition as well. I stayed in the Army Reserve, but I moved to California and really needed to figure out what was my civilian life going to look like.
Yeah.
And I did what many do. I looked into operations, and I really started applying just anywhere I could. And I was really fortunate. I got a role in as an operations manager for a small FBO out here, so in aviation, and I learned a lot. It was a great introduction into the civilian workforce, but I really started finding myself missing the mission, missing being around service members, and so I kind of made a transition again there, or a pivot, to workforce development, and I went over to a nonprofit and started working with veterans, and military spouses, along with some young adults from more underserved communities, and doing career coaching, career development, and really ensuring that they were getting started in their careers in tech. Um, that is really, I think, where a lot of my foundation comes in understanding not only my lived experience, but then the challenges that our service members are facing as they're transitioning out, military spouses, just trying to keep a career going. And then also the challenges recruiters and talent teams are seeing when they actually are trying to bring in veteran talent, and just the gaps that are there together. And that's ultimately how I came to find them as well. So I learned to find them through some of the business development and opportunities I was trying to create for our students, and started learning about Finance veteran initiatives. And I just love the idea of bringing technology to the veteran workforce space and using that to scale impact. And that's what we've been doing the past year.
Awesome. That's a great story. You talk about your transition there from service member to civilian workforce. What are some of the other challenges that you see service members having around this? Also, what do you think that recruiters are doing that or not doing that they should be doing in order to, recruit more of these folks and get them in the pipeline and stuff?
Yeah, great question. I think, when we are talking about veteran hiring initiatives or challenges veterans themselves are seeing, I can zoom in and see really two immediate challenges that there's room for impact in. The first is a bidirectional challenge of translation. So, service members are expected to make their transition out of military service, and not only build a resume that really accurately depicts their military professional experience, but then also make it so that way it's easily understood and digested, by a recruiting team or a hiring manager. And that way it's a no brainer for why they're fit for that role. The flip side of that translation is recruiters who maybe are working for a veteran hiring initiative or with one are then also expected to look at those resumes that they're very challenging to make. So, they don't always come across to par. Having to look at those and do that reverse translation, understanding what role they're sourcing for, but now they're also trying to understand somebody's lived military professional experience. And that translation piece alone is really challenging no matter which way you look at it, if you are missing the lived experience of military experience or, industry, commercial industry experience.
Yeah.
So I think,
It's probably a difficult to like, the service is full of acronyms, right? Service members probably put a lot of those acronyms on their resumes. You need to really translate that to English for the civilian
Mhm.
recruiter, right?
Yes.
That
Yeah. I think the acronyms are quite the challenge. And we joke about them all the time because there are so many, no matter which way you cut it. But that's just one piece of the pie, I think. Service members can be extremely humble when you come and talk to somebody and say, tell me what you did. And I've gotten many times in career coaching, well, I just did my job. And so then really getting in and digging, tell me about your job, help me understand. And recruiters knowing to do that digging is really important there. So like keep pushing and keep asking, I think is one aspect to do some eradication of the translation challenges.
Yeah.
The
So
the other challenge I think we see in veteran hiring initiatives specifically is just scalability. Initiatives are extremely well intended and they serve a great purpose, but a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort has to go towards them. So if you're sourcing for veterans, you have to go to another sourcing channel to get those talent profiles. Then there's the challenge of are they stale because somebody signed up for, that platform 5 years ago, and they haven't updated their resume. And then again, back to the translation, once you do get the pipeline going, understanding. So I think really, if we're looking at the two challenges we're trying to solve at Findem and in this partnership, it is the translation and then the scalability of initiatives, and really turning those initiatives more into part of the talent strategy than a standalone.
yeah. Is there any kind of like offices involved in any of the service branches where their job is to go out and kind of proactively bring in employers, things like that for job fairs or whatever it is? Is there any kind of official function in there?
No, absolutely. There are several organizations doing that work. And then within the military, every service member is supposed to go through the TAPS program, the Transition Assistance Program. So they go through, they learn to write a resume, they learn about LinkedIn, they learn about networking, their self pitch, all of that. It is condensed and a lot more work has to be done on the back end. But one of the great things about both TAPS or organizations like Recruit Military that are working with different TAPS programs, and in general is there are a lot of job fairs out there. There's a lot of companies that really want to do the work and really want to bring in veterans. They see the return on investment. There's a great business case alone for hiring military affiliated talent. So the effort is definitely there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, talk about how the integration with Recruit Military came about. And I think they're kind of like a job board slash job fair kind of company, right? That's basically what they do?
Right. So Recruit Military is the largest and one of the longest standing veteran talent sourcing agencies in America. They right now have nearly 2 million job ready talent profiles of transitioning service members, military spouses,
Oh,
veterans,
wow. Wow.
those who've already been transitioned out. And they provide a lot of services. So they do professional coaching or career coaching to those coming out. They host over 100 job fairs across the nation annually. They also have a job board, and then they work with their employer partners to help them really understand what is their veteran strategy, um, how can we bring in more veterans, everything they could possibly need there. It's kind of a great one-stop shop to expand your access to veteran talent.
Yeah. Gotcha. And how'd you guys get hooked up with them? And go ahead and share your screen. You can show us some of the integration that you
Yeah,
had.
absolutely. So we aligned on mission. One of the founding concepts at Findem is that we are all more than our resume. And that's really applicable when we're talking about veteran hiring and veteran talent initiatives. So we came together to combine technology. Essentially, you have, Findem Copilot, our multi-channel sourcing platform, and then you have Recruit Military's very unique data set of veterans, transitioning service members, military spouses, along with the unique information of when are they transitioning or did they already, where are they located, what career field would they like to be in, are they willing to relocate, etc. So it really kind of creates a more strategic, enhanced profile for recruiters who are looking to hire. So here, you can kind of see that we have brought in the talent pools of Findem veterans and Recruit Military veterans into the Findem platform. What is really unique about this, though, and is key to taking veteran hiring from an initiative to part of the talent strategy, is we keep this talent pool as part of the entire workflow that you'll see here for a recruiter. So it is right alongside our additional channels of our inbound recruiting, aligned with somebody's ATS rediscovery, CRM, all the way to your coldest outbound channels of, external sourcing.
And
When
it's
we
branded Recruit Military there too, as well, which is neat.
Yes, yes. So we have a very specific recruit military veteran tab. And what's really incredible is that our co-pilot tab pulls the top ranked candidates from all channels. And by having our veteran channels directly in line with the rest of the sourcing channel platform, it automatically goes through and says, do we have candidates that are actually a good match from our Find veterans or recruit veterans? If
Hmm.
so, veteran or not, they're here. So today, we'll source. So for today, we will source for a sales associate. And I really kind of want to point out we have the sales associate role broken down in our Find Them attributes. We're looking for somebody who's worked in retail, and you'll notice that I actually do not have any military attributes chosen. So I'm actually not actively sourcing um, anybody from the veteran community. I'm not even trying. What you'll see here when we go to our Copilot tab is that we are automatically pulling in the top talent and top match for this job. So you'll see, of course, we have some inbound applicants. That makes sense as top matches, those who are rediscovered in our ATS. And then we start coming down and we are automatically seeing some veteran and military affiliated talent coming through. So here we have Rebecca. We know that she has this particular experience. So our AI will immediately demonstrate or highlight for you that she has customer service experience, the basic math skills we asked for. She can carry heavy things.
Hmm.
And that's kind of all I really know about her military affiliation based on just immediately looking at her enhanced profile. What's unique here, though, is that we can also look at Recruit Military's information that they have on her. And now we also know that she's a military spouse. Her partner transitioned out of the military May of 2025. So this just recently happened. So these are probably, her and spouse are in the exact right position to be looking for a new job and really boosting careers. So we're also pulling military spouses into this and ensuring that they're not forgotten when we're talking about equitable sourcing. We can also come down, we can see that this person's willing to relocate and will travel.
I was going to ask you, there's a relocation information there. Yep,
Yes, yes.
that's great.
So, we can continue down and we'll continue to see the same thing. So we have another military spouse that's included. And as you keep going, we will also see a veteran. So we have somebody here who recently transitioned from the Navy February 25. So just a matter of months ago. Typically that first year after transition is very much the transition time frame still. So even though they've already left active service, they're really still figuring out life, as a civilian. So here we can quickly hover and see what does Justin's skill set bring to the table? And very similar, he's managed inventory and supply orders. He's worked in a fast-paced environment, etc. So I really want to look at him. I think he's possibly a great match. And we can pop in, we can see his enhanced profile from Findem. And I see in the Navy, he was a retail specialist. I don't know much more about him from there. We can look at his unique recruit military information. I see that, again, he just recently separated his position a little bit more spelled out, some of his skills and qualifications. Again, he'll relocate, he'll travel. He has several future work interests, but I still don't know the most about what he's done in the military. And that is where we have our AI assistant, which essentially can act as your own personal military expert and translator. So I can ask, what does a retail specialist do in the Navy? And it will provide a really in-depth answer of just understanding for me. So as this is working, I'll explain the AI assistant a little bit further. This is your pocket translator that is extremely interactive, can help you understand a person's experience. So here we can see, obviously he's the retail specialist, so he managed supply chain and inventory tasks. Um, he's led teams, he's coordinated with different departments, so he's very cross-functional. He can work at a pretty quick pace. But that may not be enough for me. It's like, okay, that's great, but how does his role in the Navy relate to the position I'm sourcing for? We can go back in and we can continue this and get extremely deep to the point where it begins pulling out here's how this person's military experience is actually applicable. So now we're addressing the translation challenges.
Hmm. Yep.
And we can see, that in a retail specialist role, he's demonstrated, leadership, sales operations. So he's really quite a great fit. We can go from there, add him to the short list, and we'll be sure to reach out. This is all happening without even actively searching for, find them veterans or recruit military veterans. If we wanted to go deeper into military attributes, we can absolutely do that. Perhaps we love the recruit military talent pool and we want all of their unique data, such as will they relocate? What are they interested in doing? We can come here to our military attributes and see everything from employment type. So, do they want full-time, part-time work? Future work interests, which is really important to a transitioning service member. Maybe they've done one thing in the Army for 10 years and they would really like to pivot and do something entirely new. Um, in the civilian workforce, we can look at their pay grade, their military occupational specialty or MOS. Did they have a clearance, and their military status? So for today, perhaps we'd like to look at National Guard reservists and military spouses, and we can run that. And what we find is we will come back in and our co-pilot will just look at recruit military and we will begin seeing additional service members who fit that role. So here we have somebody who is a military police in the Army National Guard. You will see the same reserve deputy sheriff here. And then we have an engineer in the U.S. Navy Reserve, for example. So between the two, we are looking at a scalable solution that ensures veterans are a natural part of the talent sourcing strategy, instead of a side initiative and something that's just really easy for recruiters to use and surface veteran talent.
Yeah, I agree. It's sort of a win-win-win for everybody involved here. You,
So
the military, and the service member there. So the more they can be seen, more likely to get hired, right? So
absolutely.
I think nice job there with you guys, with
Thank you.
both teams there, and bringing that to life. So excellent. Well, Heather, thank you for your service, first of all. Thank you for your time
Oh,
today as well. Is this available now for users? Tell us more about the pricing, how you get it, that kind of stuff.
absolutely. So it is available now, and it's really available in two product offerings. So first, through Recruit Military Licensing, um, we you can access just the Findem and Recruit Military Veteran talent pool. So if that is a sole focus, this is an option as far as the product that's received. Full sourcing, full search capabilities, run against job boards, anything like that. It's focused on the veterans. You can also shift over and look at the Findem licensing that involves all of our sourcing channels, our multi-channel sourcing tool that includes both the Findem and Recruit Military sourcing channels already worked in, as I just demonstrated. Pricing varies just depending on, you know, package that you choose with Recruit Military and Findem, but you know,
Yep.
quite a few
And,
options there.
and tell the audience where to go to learn more about this.
Of course, you can go to Findem.ai and request a demo, or you can reach out to me anytime. Heather Haag, Haag, on LinkedIn or at my email, heather@findem.ai. I'd be happy to talk more with anyone.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks for your time today, Heather, and appreciate it. And keep us up to date on the next generation of Find 'em.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris.